The rain in this city never stops. It just washes the grime from one gutter to the next. I'm Detective Miles Corrigan, and for the last 10 years, I've been wading through the filth of Metropolis. My latest case started like any other Tuesday. A body. But this wasn't just any body. It was Councilman Richard Sterling, sprawled out in his high-rise office, a single neat hole in his chest. The media was already calling it a robbery gone wrong. I knew better. Robbers don't leave behind $1 million watch and a wallet full of cash. The crime scene was too clean, almost sterile. No forced entry, no struggle. Sterling had let his killer in. I started digging into his life, a life built on public service and private deals. Sterling was the key vote on the massive waterfront redevelopment project, a $1 billion deal that promised to reshape the city's skyline. A project that had made a lot of powerful people very, very rich, and made a lot of others very, very angry. My first stop was Sterling's business partner, a construction magnate named Alistair Finch. Finch was a man who built empires and buried secrets. He greeted me in his office, a palace of glass and steel overlooking the very waterfront he was about to conquer. He was smooth, offering condolences and praise for the late councilman. He said Sterling was a visionary, a true friend to the city. I asked him who might have wanted Sterling dead. Finch just shrugged, his expensive suit not moving an inch. In our line of business, detective, enemies are as common as concrete. He told me to look at the activists, the people who were trying to block the project. A convenient scapegoat. So I went to see the leader of the opposition, a fiery community organizer named Elena Rogers. She didn't mince words. She called Sterling a crook, a sellout who was displacing thousands of families for profit. Her alibi was solid. She was leading a protest rally across town at the time of the murder, with 100 witnesses and a dozen news cameras. But she gave me a new lead. She told me Sterling had been getting nervous, that he'd recently met with an investigative journalist named Sarah Jenkins. I found Sarah in the archives of the Metropolis Chronicle, surrounded by towers of old newspapers. She was jumpy, reluctant to talk. She admitted she'd been working on a story about corruption in the waterfront deal, and Sterling was her inside source. He was scared. He told her he'd made a deal with the devil and was ready to confess everything. He was supposed to give her a flash drive full of evidence the night he was killed. The drive was now missing. Sarah believed Finch had him killed to silence him. It was a good theory, but I needed proof. Back at the precinct, I pulled the security footage from Sterling's building. The killer was a pro, wore a hat, kept their head down, avoided every camera angle perfectly. But they made one mistake. As they exited the service elevator in the parking garage, they dropped a small object. The resolution was terrible, but when I enhanced it, I could just make out what it was. A custom-made cufflink, an intricate design, a silver hawk with a ruby eye. I knew that cufflink. I'd seen it before, not on Alistair Finch, but on someone much closer to home. Someone who was supposed to be on my side. I went straight to the chief's office. Chief Miller, my mentor, the man who taught me everything I knew about being a cop. He was packing up his desk, talking about his upcoming retirement. He smiled when I walked in. Miles, just the man I wanted to see. What's the latest on the Sterling case? I didn't answer. I just looked at his wrist. On his French cuff shirt was a single, silver hawk cufflink. The other was missing. His smile vanished. The truth came pouring out. Miller had invested his entire pension in Finch's waterfront project based on Sterling's inside tips. But the project was built on a foundation of bribes and fraudulent permits. When Sarah Jenkins started sniffing around, Sterling got cold feet and threatened to expose the whole thing. That would have wiped Miller out, disgraced him just before retirement. So he made a choice. He went to see Sterling, not as a police chief, but as a desperate man. When Sterling refused to back down, Miller silenced him permanently. He used his access and his knowledge to commit the perfect murder. He almost got away with it. He asked me to look the other way. He talked about loyalty, about the years we'd spent together, about the thin blue line. But the line Sterling crossed wasn't blue. It was blood red. The rain was still falling when they led him away in handcuffs. It washed his silver cufflink down the drain, but it couldn't wash away what he'd done. In this city, the grime always finds its way to the surface, and it's my job to be there when it does. Thank you for watching this story unfold. If you enjoy tales of grit and justice, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. We'll see you in the next case.